for Q&A time with the relationship expert, America's relationship expert, Dr. Wendy Walsh is here. Woo! Okay, coming in from Anillo Correa. What is the best way to tell someone, a teenager, in parentheses, you are not attracted to them without hurting their feelings? I can't find the right way, especially since she has depression issues.
Oh.
What about non-teenagers also?
Yeah,
Okay,
this is across the lifespan.
Okay.
How
Okay, first of all,
considerate is this person, though?
very
I just have to say
considerate.
you are so considerate, especially for a young teenager.
But I also want to say this, you're not responsible for her feelings.
Yeah.
And so don't get all fused and worried and codependent here. Her feelings are her feelings. And I would say that you only have to say it if the sort of come on or the attraction is getting annoying and you're trying to change the behavior, because you can do it without saying, by being just not there and not available, not returning texts and not returning phone calls. You just give the silence and they get the message.
Don't ever presume to touch me again or speak my name.
Now, if they don't get the message, that's on them and their feelings. But if you want to have the conversation, I want you to think about all the things you are attracted to. And so start off making a communication sandwich, which is a layer of love, a criticism thrown in the middle, and then a layer of love at the bottom. So it goes something like this. You know, you've been a really good friend. I really like how good you are at math, and so it's been so wonderful to be able to help each other in math class these years. But I do see that you want our relationship to be something that's a little more, and I'm not quite in that space with you. But the thing is this, I don't want to lose you because I think you're a great friend and we could sometimes walk home from school together. So here you got good, criticism, good. Then they can digest it.
Here's what might happen. No, I asked
might
this, I
think
challenge
there's
you.
a
What if they're
chance
like,
now.
she's like, oh,
There's a
we
chance.
can walk home
Right.
together from school now. And he thinks I'm the best mathematician since the math guy.
Well, I think someone prone to depression doesn't over-explode the good things. In fact,
Okay.
they're underhearing the good things about themselves.
Oh, that's sad.
Coming in from Kathy Haysay. How can you save a relationship if you feel like you're growing apart from each other? Oh, and then she gives a boot for Brett.
Thank you for that, Boop. That's nice.
I just want to throw it out there really
Yes.
fast. These are great questions.
I know.
Yeah,
Like
good
these
job,
are the best
everyone.
questions.
It's helping us too. Your questions are helping us. So
have good questions.
how can someone save a relationship if they feel like it's growing apart?
A relationship can be rekindled at any time. And
Okay.
just like, you know, I always say you have to water your garden. And when you're watering your garden, you don't want to water the weeds. So if you turn into a nagger and talking about and only looking at what's wrong with the relationship where your needs aren't being met, and, well, why don't you do this for me anymore? What have you done for me lately, right? If you're in that kind of space, it's going to be really hard to grow a seed of a new bloom on your plant, right? So when I say water your relationship, I mean at least 20 minutes a day, you have to give your relationship your full undivided attention. And the conversation can't just be about the schedule. What are you doing Tuesday? If you drive her here, we do that. No, it has to be literally, hi. How are you? What's going on? A check-in. What are you feeling? And that doesn't cost you any money. You know, all these relationship experts talk about date night and going out, and you know, a lot of people are struggling and they can't afford these, especially if they have young children. They can't afford the childcare but taking some time to be private and be alone and actually check in with that other person 20 minutes a day can save a relationship.
Wow. Okay, coming in from Instagram from Isaac Riley Davis. What's the worst relationship advice you'd ever heard?
Actually, I heard terrible relationship advice when I was driving middle school carpool one time. I was in the front seat and the girls were all on their cell phones and one girl was telling another girl somewhere, listen, just kiss him. I mean, come on, he likes you, just kiss him. I mean, what have you got to lose? The point here is if you are getting peer pressure to do anything, then that's like rape. I'm sorry, that's non-consensual sex because you're under this terrible peer pressure. So just don't do what anyone else thinks you should do in a relationship. Do what feels right to you.
I'll tell you the worst relationship advice.
Yeah?
Ball shaving.
Oh!
It's just not comfortable. I've talked to dermatologists who say
get
it's a
ingrown
bad
hairs.
idea. Yeah, it creates more problems than it solves.
Yeah, don't do
Okay.
it.
So no ball shaving. That goes for you too, ladies.
I would actually say that about too. So Cameron Diaz just came out with her book, The Body Book, and I totally agree, and I'm just cheering her on that she did this. She said that shaving ourselves and waxing ourselves down there is basically training a bunch of guys to be pedophiles, because that is what a prepubescent girl looks like. And now there's nothing wrong with trimming up a little bit and shaving the bikini area so it's not flowing out while you're swimming. But this whole, the full Brazilian wax.
Why do you prefer a Brazilian?
Yeah, but why do you prefer it? Do you know why you prefer it? Because men dictated it because they were watching too much porn. This is something that came from the porn industry.
There's something about shaving it.
And it hurts.
That is the opposite of Cameron Diaz's dumbass argument. you're turning your vagina area into a man's face. Because men shave their faces and they get stubble, so I'm not saying prepubescent. If you're shaving, there's stubble, ladies.
Yes, it's not even that soft. The
So-
soft
Yeah.
pussy now becomes a man's face.
Yeah, and so I
Stubble.
think it's a complete opposite message. I don't really mean that it's a terrible argument. I just think it's also, it is at once both the prepubescent vagina and like Burt Reynolds around the mustache.
Okay, we're gonna have our very last question from ASO Diamonds 173. I'm in love with someone and they live in a different country. I can't stop thinking about them. I tell her every now and then. I just want to be with her. We've never met in person. I doubt she even likes me as a friend, but still, I love her too much and it hurts to know I'm most likely not going to date her. Help.
Yeah, this is called an addiction to longing. And it could be anybody, really. It might not even be this person. It's the ability to stay connected to unrequited love instead of real world love. Now, you also should call the producers at Catfish, because you could be famous as you track her down and finding her. This is all too common in our high-tech society. People live in isolation and they're afraid to put their feelings in their real world relationships, so they're putting their feelings on a keyboard, or they're putting their feelings looking at a screen. And the big advice is you've got to cut that off and move into the real world and say hello to a woman who could be a friend.
Is it something that, some sort of void in their life that they're trying to fulfill by just?
We're meant to bond.
Yeah.
See, we are designed to be bonding creatures. We are one of the few primates that a good chunk of us, more than half of us, bond for life.
Yeah.
So that's really rare, and it's part of our mental health and it's part of our physical health. So if we don't have it in front of us available, we have the fake version, which is the computer.
Exactly. Okay, wow. Gosh, so much great advice from Dr. Wendy Walsh. If you want to hear more from Dr. Wendy Walsh, go to her YouTube channel, Dr. Wendy Walsh. Also, your new series is now live, How to Date a YouTuber, which is really exciting. And then what I'm really excited about is the Google Plus Hangouts every Wednesday at 8. So big round of applause for Dr. Wendy Walsh. You are definitely coming back. Thank you. Please, please, please come back, and we will see you all next time on Pop Sugar.